I'm a talent manager, and I have represented over the years from Peter Finch, playwrights like John Osborne, Jackie Collins, Cat Stevens, Angela Lansbury. London was pretty dull, not very hygienic, and the guys in Hollywood looked far more attractive than the guys in London, so I had every opportunity I could to get here. And then, but I guess a reality as my business started, when I represented people, they began to break in America. And I used to go to New York almost 1 week a month, and then it became Hollywood, and the weather, the atmosphere, it was inevitable. I'd never been really in the closet. Story was that I was born and the doctor slapped my ass and I asked him for a date. I mean, it just never occurred to me. Was I out professionally? Yes.
You were?
Oh yeah, it's never been a problem with me. In fact, the first film I made, when it was premiered in New York, the head of the studio said to the director, "Come, we'll have a great weekend, there'll be lots of beautiful girls at the party." And the director looked at him and said, "They'd be wasted on Barry." He said, "Oh, we'll find you some boys." Where I was the gay life, and I didn't expect everybody to go along with it, but if they didn't like it, I wasn't going to apologize.
That was unusual for Hollywood.
And it was not clever. I think now looking back, it was not the brightest thing, but that was how I was, arrogant little sod. The closet door was open, but the closet existed. And corporations and different people, it was becoming more and more acceptable, but still had limitations. Funny, I found a letter recently that I hadn't been offered a job with one of the big companies, but would have been intrigued, and a very charming letter, but said certain aspects of my personal life had been brought to their attention, so they didn't think I would be right. People were beginning to be scared to go out. People didn't know, was it a flu? Was it just with gay men? What was it? And I became intrigued to find out, not as a scientist, but to listen to find out what it was. And the establishment in Washington didn't seem to do that much about it. And I was kicked numerous times by a lady called Elizabeth Montgomery to get off my arse and do something. I then had a dinner one night with Michael Gottlieb and Matilda Krim, and I'm pretty dumb scientifically, but I've never forgotten the discussion about what this virus was. And somebody said, "Can it travel through the air?" And there was a silence in the room and nobody quite knew. And I became not intrigued. I thought it was time to get off my arse and try and do something. Any contribution I made was really an extension of what my work is. I've never gone into a hospital and held somebody in my arms dying. I've never cleaned up after them. I feel a bit guilty that I've never done that. But I sort of work in an industry that was called upon, and I did my best to help.